I really didn't realise that you'd worked in Portland, and I noted some of the people that you wrestled a number of times. Tommy Rogers of the Fantastics, Brett Sawyer, Chris Adams. I hadn't realised you'd wrestled and had a feud with him. Yeah. Tell me about Chris Adams.
Well, I mean, eventually he went on to be a crazy thing, but he was a good guy, a nice guy. We all hung out. We had a bunch of guys. There was another guy named Rip Oliver. Stan the Man Stasiak was there. Matt Bourne. Kurt Hennig came in there. Had his first matches there. Him and his dad. Larry the Axe. I mean, I love that territory. I stayed there a full year almost, and got tremendous experience wrestling every night. You know, wrestling single matches. Was none of the tag match stuff. Best thing for me, and I got to tell you, the first month I was there was like I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I hadn't met a girl, hadn't been out, hadn't done anything. I was like, oh, this is the worst day of my worst place in the world. And then all of a sudden, it was like the snap of the finger. And I found a new apartment. I moved in, and the women just began to flow. And it was like, I was so happy. I had girls in the morning, girls in the afternoon, girls in the evening, girls before the show, girls after the show. It was the most fun I ever had. And while I was learning to wrestle, and I got to hang with Stan Stasiak a lot, and pick his brain and learn, you know, from his experiences and stuff, which meant a huge amount to me. Because I really loved Stan, was just a tremendous, tremendous guy. I'll never forget those years.
I've interviewed his son Sean. I know he watches this occasionally, and especially will if his dad's mentioned. But maybe a story about Stan the Man, because he spent so little time in the WWF, and there's not that much footage out of him. But more about Stan, if you could.
I remember one time I had a Datsun 280Z. It was the first year it came out. And then mine was sweet. And you wouldn't think, I mean, Stan was bigger. It was taller than me even. 6'6". I was 6'4". But it was roomy on the inside. Bucket seats, straighten your legs out. So Stan and I were cruising the trip, and Stan loved his chewing tobacco. And the old school stuff, not the Copenhagen or that stuff. He had, put the clippers down there so I have to hold them. He would do the stuff that came in the foil pouch, man. And I mean, he put a wad in his mouth. It was like, I'd watch him, I'd just shake my head. And he had like a jar. I mean, he had like a milk jar. He always had that jar. We were on the trip, and out there in Oregon, the most fun ever was they had the best smoke out there in Hot. So everybody just, it was always the smoke-a-thon. So we're smoking, Stan's chewing, we're talking. We're on the way home one night, and I guess Stan had missed the bottle, and the spit had gone all down the front of his shirt and all down into my seat. But it didn't hurt the seat, wouldn't hurt the car. And he was so afraid to tell me that he want to mess up my car and everything. And when we got to his house, and he was all embarrassed, you know, and he had chewing juice all over the place. And I was like, brother, I could care less. You can do anything you want, man. You're the man, and you deserve so much more, you know. And he was happy being out there. We all just enjoyed low pressure, you know, working the territory for Don Owen, and driving to these shows, driving every night to shows. Sometimes it'd be a close show. Sometimes you had to drive 300 miles, you know. And so when those big shows, a lot of times we'd all jump in. Rip Oliver had like a camper. We'd all get in the camper, and then it was a smoke-a-thon all the way there and all the way back. And that year in Oregon was a real eye-opener for me. Got a lot of great experience. Didn't get a lot of time talking on the mic, but that would come